Good day, brothers and sisters. God bless you. Today I would like to testify to exalt the name of the Lord. I am 20 years old, and 10 years ago I was diagnosed with an illness called scleroderma. This is an autoimmune condition which, according to the doctors, it has no cure. And approximately 2.5 years ago, this illness began to deteriorate my body. I used to weigh 145 pounds, and after 2 months I came to weigh 77 pounds. I also began to lose mobility of my body up to the point where I was depending on my mother. The doctors proposed to do a bone marrow transplant, to which the board of directors at the hospital decided they could not do because I did not fulfill the requirements. For that reason, the doctors decided to release me from the hospital and send me home. When I came home, I prayed to the Lord and I said that I wanted a miracle in my life, but I wanted Him to enrich my life spiritually, that this was what I desired the most. And it is so, brothers and sisters, that my specialist decided to send me to another clinic so they could give me a second option. There they told me they could help, but the only condition was that I needed to sign some documents where I would be fully responsible should I die in the process. I made this decision fully believing in God and trusting that He would help me overcome this tribulation, and trusting in the promise that He had told me that He would be healing me and that He would be surprising me from the great miracle that He would be doing in my life. They hospitalized me on the 9th of February of 2021. Then they decided to place a catheter and began collecting cells. Then they began a series of chemotherapy sessions in less than 3 days, which left me without any hair on my head. This chemotherapy was so harsh that I got very sick and I ended up in intensive care. I was so ill to the point that the doctor told my mother that she should say goodbye to me because I would not return home. In that moment, Brother Boris was also in the intensive care area, and Sister Maria Luisa prayed, and my parents also prayed with great faith by her side. And that same day in the afternoon, they released me from the hospital. I left the clinic without being able to speak or eat since I had bronchoaspirated, and they had done a gastrostomy in order to be fed. The doctors had told me that I would not be able to eat again. Also, I would not be able to stand or walk. But thanks to the grace of the Lord, today I eat already, I walk, I can exercise, and I feel so proud to have a father like Him. I want to testify that the Lord has healed me and has given me a new life. I want to testify to exalt the name of the Lord.
I'd like to testify to give honor and glory to the Lord. When I first arrived to the church, the first thing I said was that I'm going to congregate here, but I'm not going to give my tithe. And time went by about a year, and I began to want to receive the spiritual gifts. I realized that the Lord manifested and spoke, and I asked the Lord to give me the gifts, but I saw that I didn't receive them. One day in a worship service, I said, Lord, what am I missing? Why have I not received the baptism with the Holy Spirit? I see how many others have it, but I don't. What am I missing, my Lord? And at that moment, I remember that I had my paycheck in my pocket and I hadn't used any of it. And I said, Lord, could that be the reason that because I'm not giving my tithe, I'm going to start doing that. And at the end of this worship service, I'm going to give you what belongs to you. 5 minutes went by and I received the Holy Spirit. So I realized that the tithes are very important, that we have to glorify our Lord and fulfill that beautiful commandment. And the Lord blesses us more. I testify to give honor and glory to the Lord.
Heart rejoice and tell its raptures all abroad. Happy day, happy day.
I testify to the honor and glory of our Heavenly Father. I'd like to share that before I came to church, I was a person that had many respiratory difficulties. I couldn't use chemical-based cleaning supplies. No medicine was good. It didn't help. And doctors told me that this was an allergy, incurable. I could not walk by anywhere where there was any kind of smoke because I would lose my voice for 2 or 3 days, to the point where my trachea was hurt because I tried so hard to speak. At nighttime, I slept terribly because I couldn't breathe enough and I had a lot of pain. Having known the Lord for a very short period of time, I went to the Bible study one day and I saw the Bible study, but I was uncomfortable because I had pain in my chest. I was uncomfortable in pain, but I wanted to learn about the Lord. And when the prayer started, I felt that pain become sharper. I became anguished. I was nervous, and I wanted to get up and go to the hospital for help. But I remembered the marvels and miracles that brothers and sisters have testified about. So I stayed and I directed my prayer to the Lord. I felt something got stuck, but I kept praying and I felt the pain vanish. In that moment, I didn't understand anything. The prayer ended. But today, knowing more of the Lord, I learned that through Sister Maria Luisa, the Lord had mercy and He delivered me from that difficulty I suffered. Today, I use all those chemical cleaning supplies that are normal to a household. I do not suffer anything from what I suffered before, and I testify for the honor and glory of our Heavenly Father.